Hello, my name is Stephen Bulger, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this exhibition of ours featuring work of John Max entitled First and Last. The first refers to the very first exhibition or exhibition sequence that John Max did in 1960. It was scheduled to be exhibited at the McGill University School of Architecture in their exhibition space. John was around 27 years old at the time and conceived of a sequence of 41 pictures in 4 parts. And luckily for us, the exhibition remained intact since that time. The exhibition had its first showing at McGill. The university presidents thought the material was lewd and determined that it had to be closed down. So it only had a 2-day run at its first location. John found a secondary location in Montreal where it had a 2-week run at an exhibition space in March of 1960. After that exhibition ended, these works and the text panels that went with the exhibition were put into a portfolio box and remained there until really just months ago before we started to install this exhibition. Montreal 1960 was a very strongly Catholic-dominated city. And so these depictions of the apostles as women or Jesus Christ in the guise of a number of creative people who might have been considered ne'er-do-wells at the time was probably a no-no. Depicting the crucifixion in this dance by Suzanne Rivette, a woman, would also be problematic. And the last in the exhibition refers to Strike Up the Band, which was the final sequence that John did in 1984. It comprises 14 photographs, the majority of which were taken during his time in Japan, but it was interspersed with a few photographs that he did after his return to Montreal in 1979. So our 2 exhibitions, his very first solo show as well as his last one, really bookend his most celebrated work, which was called Open Passport, a sequence of over 160 photographs where he used pictures he had made from as early as 1960 up until about probably 1971 and laid them out in a very specific sequence for each exhibition space that it went into. It opened first in Ottawa and then Montreal and then traveled the country for a number of years. In 1974, John fulfilled his lifelong ambition to go to Japan. And he never wanted to leave. Unfortunately, he didn't have a permanent visa. And after avoiding officials for months and years, they finally caught up with him, threw him into detention, and then unceremoniously returned him to Montreal around 1979, which politically had changed drastically since 74. And as an English-speaking son of Ukrainian immigrants who did not speak French and was not doing the type of conceptual work that his colleagues were doing, John Max slowly went into oblivion.